Ready?
Good morning. Good morning. One more time. That was weak as hell. Good morning. Oh, you are there. Good. Blind as I am, I thought I was alone in the room. So if you have not done so already, please turn off your phone. And as Robert Boo says at every Founders, if you can hear my voice, please. That works really well, Robert.
I know, as opposed to what I always used to say before.
Uh-oh. So anyway, after being married for 50 years, a straight man took a careful look at his wife one day and said, 50 years ago, we had a cheap house, a junk car, slept on a sofa bed, and watched a 10-inch black and white TV. But I got to sleep with a hot 23-year-old girl every night. Now I have a $500,000 home, a $45,000 car, a nice big bed, and a large screen TV, but I'm sleeping with a 69-year-old woman. It seems to me that you're not holding up your side of things. His wife was a very reasonable woman. She told him to go out and find a hot 23-year-old girl, and she would make sure that he would once again be living in a cheap house, driving a cheap car, sleeping in a sofa bed and watching a tennis. Aren't older women great? They really know how to solve an old man's problem. For that. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. Quick reminder on the Nova thing. See the poster over here to my left. If you're interested in joining a bus trip from the Pride Center to their health fair, what's the date on that? 29th
March 29th.
Please sign up with Shawn before you leave today. If we don't get enough takers, Dr. Levy's not going to do a bus, so this is kind of a last chance on that. Miss Patty, do we have any virgins in the house? Any first-time visitors?
We do. I thought this was a first-time visitor, but it's Rebecca. Look at her. Celicia is here, first time, and born in Jamaica.
Welcome, Celicia.
And our girl from Brooklyn, it's Abby.
Welcome in the house.
And we're pulling the help out of the kitchen. Ryan, born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Welcome, Ryan. This is the volunteer.
Part of the crew, it's Elgin. And Hannah without the H from El Paso, Texas.
All right.
We do have another person here, but he'd rather not be introduced, so just be nice to everybody around you. You don't know, you may have a virgin at your table. Oh, Manhattan. He changed his name tag for me too, because I couldn't read the other one. Here's Stephen.
Welcome, Stephen. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Miss Patty. From Wellness, we have Danny.
Good morning, my fabulous friends. How you doing? So, it is Tuesday, right? And the coffee's hot, and so are we. So, let's get into some wellness, wisdom, and maybe some little wickedness. There you go. So, but I want to first start by inviting you to get a free HIV and STI test today with us. As you know, on Tuesdays we partner with AHF, and we are in the back building, Building B, the blue one, and we are just behind those double glass doors. So please come in, say hi to our team. We're there to answer any questions that you might have about sexual health and how you can protect yourself against STIs, including PrEP and the And also, they also have, free condoms, so please come and grab some free condoms, and please get tested. The only surprise we like in the bedroom are the fun ones, not the other ones. So, grab some free condoms. Also, in order to help you unlock your best self, Week in Wellness, we try to bring you on a monthly and weekly basis our holistic classes. So this week we have on Thursday, this coming Thursday, 27th at 6:30 p.m., we have gentle yoga because flexibility isn't just for yoga, it is useful in other positions too. Also on Saturday, March 1st, we are going to be at the Live Well Now Health and Wellness Fest at Hagen Park from 12 to 5 p.m. Come say hi to our team. Also, we'll be there answering any questions, giving out free condoms and lube and lots of information. Diane is also going to talk a little bit more about that. Not the condom part. So March 3rd, which is the following Monday, we have our grief and loss support group. Drop-ins are welcome, and because healing takes a village, and sometimes a strong few hugs. So come and join us. It is a very helpful support group, especially in these times that we're all facing. Also, Shawn helped me to place some of these flyers on your tables. This talks about our Promise program, which is basically a program in which we share empowering stories with our community. Okay, stories of change, of experiences relating to HIV prevention, to STI prevention, and your stories, you don't think so, but your stories could help. My story is out there too in one of the Promise stories, and I think I didn't know how much people I could help with my story until, I started talking about it and reaching out to people. We're also looking for people to help us share these stories in the community. If you're interested, please, reach out. You have the information here on how to reach us, or you can talk to Rob Shore or myself after this meeting. So about awareness days this week, we have National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, which is February 26th through March 1st. This week is all about embracing our body positively and self-love. So, and that includes loving yourself in every way. You know what I mean. Let's take this as a reminder that all bodies are sexy bodies. Whether you're a lean twink, a beefy bear, or a soft otter, or a full daddy meal, you're as delicious as you are. And let's be honest, confidence in the bedroom is always the hottest accessory you could bring into the bedroom. So love the body you're in and treat it right. Also, this coming Thursday, February 27th, is International Polar Bear Day. Now, we could talk about weather change and climate change, but I want to talk about a different kind of bear. The big husky and bear ones that roam in our community free. Polar bears. There you go. And you are all tan from your cruise, right? So, all right. So polar bears thrive in cold environments, but we all know that our bears prefer things hot and sweaty. So if you're snuggling up with a bear this week, please keep things warm, keep them wild, and well lubricated. And for my bear lovers in the room, cuddle up, keep those paws soft, get tested, and remember, honey isn't the only thing bears like to lick. And like I always say, have fun with sex, make it your own, but please do it as safely as possible so you can do it for longer. Happy Tuesday.
We have our little flight coordinator, Miss Diane.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Mark, thank you for that sneak peek. I appreciate it. I have a couple reminders about some events coming up. As Danny talked about, this Saturday is our Live Well Now Health Fair happening at Hagan Park from noon to 5 p.m. We're going to have a bunch of activities going on. We have cancer and HIV screenings. We're going to have vaccinations. We're going to have preventative care, wellness activities, DJ, and lunch. I am going to take this opportunity to get my annual breast exam at 1:30, so I'm really excited about that. So, and I think Blanca, you've signed up as well? Yeah, great. So, looking forward to that. I encourage you to come out and join us. It's going to be a great afternoon. We try to incorporate a lot of fun into some really important health and wellness information for you. So please join us 12 noon to 5 p.m. We are also looking for a couple more volunteers, 2 more volunteers. So if you have availability and are interested in volunteering, either from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. or from 4 to 5:30 p.m., please come see me afterwards. We may have an opportunity for you. And then another event that I want to tell you about, I keep talking about Wilton Women's Week. And this is an event that is happening April 26th through May 4th, 2025. The Pride Center and Women with Pride is hosting this week-long event to celebrate and highlight all the amazing LGBTQIA plus women in South Florida. This is a really important event. Thank you, whoever clapped over there. I only got one clap. Thank you. All right, there we go. It's a really important event, for not only for the Pride Center, for the women's community. There's a lot of amazing organization and programs for women, and we are all over the place. We may not always be as visible as the men's community, but we are here and we're doing some amazing things. So this event really is about highlighting just some of the amazing organizations and women in our community. The Pride Center is hosting 2 events. We'll be doing opening night, and we have a women's marketplace event. So I'll be telling you a lot more about this over the next couple of months. I have some information here. If you have any friends or anyone who may not be on social media or receiving our emails, I'd love to tell you about the event, so come see me. And love seeing you all. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Diane. We have our active aging specialist, Shawn.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So show of hands, how many people in here have had a moment where you're watching TV or whatever in your living room, you get up and you go to another room, maybe it's the kitchen or your bedroom, and you're on your way in there, you walk in there, and then you're like, wait a minute, what did I get up off my couch and walk in the kitchen for? I'm not hungry. There's something I was thinking about that I was looking for. Yeah. That's most of us, right? Okay. So when it happens, you probably think, or you wonder, like, is that normal, or is something wrong? Do I need to ask my doctor? Okay. So if that applies to you, which is probably a good number of us here in this room, then you want to come to our town hall we have coming up next month. So if you look on your tables, we have a flyer there for you. It's brain health. Let's think about it. It's town hall. It's going to be Wednesday, March 12th. Here at the Pride Center, it's going to actually be in the community room next door at the residences, which is a beautiful space. Obviously, you've been there before when we've had a cup of coffee and conversations over there. So you can register now. The Eventbrite's already set up. We have QR codes on the flyers on the table. As Danny mentioned too, we have iPads here up front where you can sign up. If you need assistance with that, come and see me after the program and I'll help you out. But it's going to be a great town hall. It's going to be very informative. We have some distinguished experts who are going to be able to talk about neurological health and how to keep your brain healthy as you get older. It is a free event. Registration is required, though, so please go ahead and make sure you register if you want to attend. There's going to be catered food and drinks. First hour is a social hour, and then the next hour will be the programming. So again, save the date, Wednesday, March 12th, here at the Pride Center. Our first town hall with the Hero 50 Plus program. We're really excited to bring it to you. It's going to be very informative. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all there, and we'll make more announcements through the following weeks as we get closer to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shawn. Oh, good friends, the Gay Men's Chorus, Edward Zelke.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. For those who don't know me, my name is Edward Zelke. I'm the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. How many of you have heard of us? Yeah. Have you attended one of our concerts recently? Fabulous. I'm doing my job. Well, I have 2 concerts coming up, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. One concert that is coming up this week is at Sunshine Cathedral on Thursday night. It's at 8 p.m. It's called Unbroken Voices, Songs of Justice and Redemption. It's part of our Black History series, and we would love for you to come out. We have a donor that's bought a block of tickets that is donating them, so if anybody is interested, I have about a dozen tickets. I put some of my business cards out on some of the tables. Please give me a call, please, or stop upstairs in our office here. It's in the 2nd building here, in the blue building B on the 2nd floor. I'll be happy to help you. Our next concert is also coming up in March. It's called Broadway Blockbusters. It's going to be the best of Broadway, so you're going to hear, tunes from Wicked and Rent, Oklahoma, Sound of Music. So there's going to be a whole real spectrum of Broadway's best hits. So I hopefully you get to come out and check that out as well. So thank you all. And the date of that event is March 21st. That is a Friday night at 8 p.m. That's going to be at the Parker. So any other information on that concert or the one that's coming this week, you can go to our website at gmcsf.org, and then we will be able to help you out virtually. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. We have our Director of Development with a very special guest, Rebecca.
Hiya! How's everybody this Tuesday? All right, Diane, your hair, fabulous, love it. Just making a public note of that. All right, we do not have LEU here this week, which means you are going to have to, well, that's good for LEU. I'm not sure what that really says about me, so I still have the bigger office, so, what? So anyway, all right, I'm just going to run through this list real quick, and then I'm just going to run out of here before Diane beats my ass. All right, tonight we have a very special event. We're not hosting it. It's actually hosted by Flockfest, and it's a partnership with AHF. It is their annual lip sync battle. So that lip sync battle is at Hunters tonight at 7 p.m. and several of the beneficiaries are participating, us being one of the beneficiaries. And our very own performer is that dude right there, our communications and media manager, Shawn Campbell. So come on out. Come support us, Hunters, 7 p.m. It is free. There is no charge to come in. So come on out, 7 p.m. Hunters, and cheer on our Shawn. Yay! And the winner gets $750 towards their team. Second place gets $500, and third place gets $250. And I'm not sure how I actually remembered that, but anyway, that's all good. So come on out and support us. That would be fantastic. Thank you. All right. Next, we have this Thursday right here at the center at 7 p.m. to 8:30. We have the closing of Black Art Awakening. So it's right here in the main hall. You'll see all of the amazing artwork, which is for sale around this room. So please, before you go, check it out. This is a collaboration between the Pride Center, World AIDS Museum, Trans Inclusive Group, Eugene Men's Collective. We would love to see you out here Thursday, 7 p.m. And, we got a lot of stuff going on, my friends. Oh, there are so many opportunities for you to see me. Sorry, for me to see you. That's just very self-centered. Anyway, this Saturday, we have, once again, the infamous Bingo. Woo! The glow-in-the-dark bingo game. And it's the 80s edition. So if you are an 80s person, come on out. You might see me do the Macarena again. Although I think that might have been the 90s. I'm not sure. But anyway, that is 1 to 3:30 p.m. It's only $15 to come in. You get a card for every game. You get all your bingo supplies, and you get 2 drink tickets with that and some light snacks.
You always give me more.
So I did. Shh, that was our secret, Richard. I don't know why you're putting it out there. So if you see me on the bar, just eat a lot of protein. All right. So that's you can RSVP on our website, pridecenterflorida.org, or you can always see me. $15. All right. Remember, bricks, if you would like to purchase a brick, you can see me. I did not put information out. I apologize. I will put information out again. It's $100 for a 4x8 brick that sits out in our plaza in perpetuity. Lots of fun things you can do with that brick. We would love to see every single person's name on our plaza so we can just walk all over you every single day. In a good way. I'll wear nice skills to do it. All right. And finally, right, is that it? Yeah, no, it's not. All right, so finally, on March 11th, which I just found out is 2 weeks away. Who knew? I didn't. So we are actually hosting After Coffee and Conversation. I've left a couple of flyers on everyone's table. It is Leaving a Legacy, an estate planning workshop, and that's done in collaboration. It's our workshop, the Pride Center's workshop. It is done in collaboration with Sully Rodriguez, who is one of our board members and volunteering her time to help us out, and also a collaboration with the Our Fund Foundation. So I would like actually to bring Mark Blaylock, our CFO from the Our Fund Foundation, just to give you a little insight into the content. So that is March 11th, 12:30 p.m.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark Blaylock. Let me just leave you with 2 quick thoughts this morning. One is, we are all where we are in life because someone else has done something for us. Maybe it was a job opportunity, a close friend, a mentor, obviously our parents, your partner, but someone has lifted us up. And we are where we're standing on the shoulders of those great heroes in the past. Even the Pride Center itself exists because of the vision and the giving of a future or of a past generation. And you see their names. You see them on the walls here, you see them outside, you see them out in the garden. Now is the time for each of us to consider, what are we going to pass on? What is going to be our legacy, just as people have done something for us? And the second thought is, you don't have to be a Rockefeller, you don't have to be a Mellon, you don't have to be a Gates to have that impact. I look at the consolidated power of giving sitting right here in this room. And that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep this Pride Center, its campus, and its programs, and the community overall doing really well. That's what we're going to answer, how each of you individually can make a difference. And you don't have to give a dime right now, but it's what you're going to leave as a legacy for the organizations here that are important for all of us. So I really hope you will come out and be able to ask individual questions. Solely as an attorney, so that's an important part, as well as the philanthropy part that we handle. And I think it will be really impactful. And then you can pass it on to the next generation, just as we have received from others. I hope to see you all there. Thank you.
So just as a reminder, that's Tuesday, March 11th, after Coffee and Conversation. The doors aren't open until 12:30 p.m. So once you leave Coffee and Conversation, we hope you'll come back, and a very light lunch will be served during that program. I'm just managing expectations right here. I think water and a chunk of bread. We're a non-profit, people. All right. Have a wonderful Tuesday.
Thank you. It's time for our CEO, Mr. Robert. Well, hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today? Good. Hey, Facebook. They're awfully quiet. So, anyway, the last week of February, and so a daddy's meal. Danny? I'm wearing like a little kitty meal here. So anyway, so did you know that today is National Sunkissed Citrus Day? Yes.
California started it, but the Florida growers here produce a huge amount of orange juice, but unfortunately, did you hear the latest news? One of the major growers in Fort Lauderdale, in Florida, is actually calling it quits. Yeah, because the deadly citrus greening disease is impacting their growth, as well as all of the hurricanes that came through. They're located over on the west coast of Florida. So that's really sad. For anyone who's been over in Fort Myers, there's the juice place where you can go and get the fresh squeezed orange juice. And I'm not quite sure what they're going to do now. Also, coming up is National Letters to an Elder Day. Do not send me. Why not? If I get a letter from anyone in this group, I swear to God. So let's look about what's going on in gay history. So I would try to pronounce this gentleman's name, but I'm going to butcher it. Ola Haftun Lelele. Yeah, let's see if you can do a better job on that one. Professional handball player. He's 22, very handsome. Very handsome. So he came out, he's in Denmark, and he said, just like the king, I guess the king said this in 2016, Norway is boys who love boys, girls who love girls, and girls and boys who love each other. So I think everyone should move to Denmark. Neil Jordan, anyone know that name? Yes, okay. He is an Academy Award filmmaker. He's from Ireland. And so he got an Academy Award for The Crying Game. And vampire... Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to skip that one. Didn't make sense. So, Evan Todd. Evan Todd is an American actor and producer. He grew up in Kissimmee, Florida. We love that. Kissimmee. Kissimmee. Tomato. Evan Todd produced Sydney White, Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever. I guess I missed that one. Switched at Birth, I've heard of it, and Jane the Virgin. Don't know her. So, my next announcement, and I just want to make this perfectly clear to everyone. I am educating the community. I talk about policies. I talk about practices that are going on against the LGBT community. I don't care if anyone has a D or an R for party affiliation. I am here to only talk about how to protect our community. All right? Fair enough? Mud? Clear as mud? All right. So, Transgender Law Centers, two-part community conversation on turning care into love through action. That's going to occur on February 26th, and it's going to be, TLC will have some panelists, and they will highlight Black trans movement leaders and organizations and discuss how mutual aid, direct services, and healing justice work as tools and blueprints for building and sustaining. And so it's going to be live streamed on Facebook and YouTube. So again, on February 26th, Transgender Law Center's two-part community conversation on turning care into love through action. Our brothers and sisters of trans experience are a very marginalized community to begin with, and then they are being targeted even more by a current administration. I don't care who they are, what party affiliation, but I will continue to talk about this, and I will continue to educate our community. Yeah. It's only online. Yeah, it's only online. And we'll make a post about this on social media, so look for it. And then Rebecca's already talked about the Black Arts reception this Thursday. Take a look around this room. Look at this beautiful, colorful art. We are so proud to be hosting this show this month. And so if you see anything you like and it doesn't have a red sticker, then buy it. So I'm going to again end on a very nice note. So everyone know Miss Richfield?
Yeah.
All righty. So Miss Richfield's coming back to Florida. She'll be at the Sunshine Cathedral on Saturday, March 29. And since this will be her last performance of the show, you're going to be in a treat, which means she's really going to talk a lot, really dirty. And next week, we are going to have a drawing. So we'll be giving away a couple of tickets. And premium seats to premium seats. We only get the best. So this is your warning. If you're on Facebook and you're like, okay, I'm going to get those tickets, come here next week, enter yourself into the drawing, and that way you can see Miss Richfield, who is absolutely hysterical. Yes, Dennis.
The King of Denmark has offered the United States $1 trillion for the state of California.
Why does California get everything? It could be Florida. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Our sponsor today has escaped the chilly winds of Chicago to come and tell us what's going on in his world of higher learning. Elliot, come on up.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you all again. It's been a while. I much prefer coming back to the nice warmth of South Florida than the chilly winds of Chicago. So it's really great to be with you all today. And I am back to talk with you all a little bit about a study, my dissertation study that I've been chatting with you all about for the last year and a half or so and really encouraging folks to participate in. But today I'm actually going to share some of the findings that we have from all of your great participation. And I really want to thank everybody. We've had 300 folks, actually 375 now participate in the study overall. And I'm going to be focusing today on just the first section of results, which is about 250 middle-aged and older sexual minority men from across the state of Florida. And so I want to just briefly thank some of our funders. We got some funding from the National Institute of Health, National Institute of Drug Abuse, and the National Institute of Mental Health to support this project. And so this is probably very familiar to many folks here, but right, the HIV epidemic has really shifted over the last few decades. And now, more than 50% of people living with HIV in the United States are over the age of 50 years old. And when we look at the demographics of groups that are still contracting HIV and have higher HIV incidence, looking at sexual minority men, the only age demographic that's actually experiencing an increasing number of new cases are folks over the age of 55. All the other demographics of sexual minority men are either having sort of plateauing rates where they're sort of stabilized or decreasing. So when we think about where the field of HIV research is going, aging is a really important frontier, which is pretty much the impetus for why I was interested in studying this for my dissertation and trying to figure out, okay, how do we support middle-aged and older sexual minority men in a way that makes sense for their unique needs, right? As we age, our needs change. Things that are important to us in our 20s may be different than what's important to us in our 50s, 60s, and 70s. And the research field has focused too much on younger guys and not as much attention on, well, what happens as we age and the unique factors that are affecting us as we get older. And so there were a variety of factors in the literature that we know impact HIV-related outcomes, either for people living with HIV or for people who are HIV negative but still have a likelihood of acquiring HIV. And those are things like having a history of childhood sexual abuse, having depression and other mental health challenges, having living in poverty, housing instability, things like that. And those are what we call traditional syndemic conditions, which are factors when they get put together, they just kind of have this synergistic effect and make the likelihood of a negative outcome much higher. I was really interested in looking about, are there certain factors that are unique to aging? Things like internalized ageism, or experiencing everyday related discrimination because of your age, or social isolation, or things like perceived cognitive impairment that are unique to the aging experience and may not affect necessarily younger adults, but are things that older adults and middle-aged adults may think of a little bit more, and how that impacts HIV risk outcomes and quality of life. And so the focus of the study had two main goals. The first was to examine the prevalence, or sort of just the burden of traditional and age-related factors that impact HIV-negative older sexual minority men. And so I mentioned at the start, right, that we were collecting data from folks on HIV risk outcomes and quality of life among this group, using two different methods. One is a more traditional method that a lot of research uses, and the other one was a really more innovative new tool through machine learning and kind of AI mechanisms to try to understand, are there certain factors really impactful over others? And so a little bit about the sample. So we had, I said, right, over 250 older sexual minority men across the state of Florida who participated in this study, the Sexual Minority Aging and Sexual Health Study. And folks could participate if they were between the ages of 55 and 90. They lived anywhere in Florida, either full or part-time. They identified as a sexual minority men. They were a cisgender men. And they self-reported as HIV negative or HIV status unknown at the time of the survey. These are some of the flyers. We have them at our table. Hannah from El Paso, Texas, who you heard from before, has them there. And these are flyers I'm sure you all have seen over the course of the last few years connected to this study. So we had 251 folks participate in this sort of analytic sample. And a few things I wanted to just show up front. We had a particularly white sample, so almost 93% of the guys that participated in our study self-reported as white as their race. We also had a pretty high proportion of non-Hispanic and Latino participants, just under 90%. A very well-educated sample, a little over 77% of our participants had a college or university degree. A quarter were on PrEP, so pre-exposure prophylaxis, so 25% of folks who participated. And the three main outcomes that we were looking at was the frequency of condomless anal sex in the past month, your past 30-day PrEP adherence, so if you were taking PrEP, how adherent were you to taking PrEP in the past 30 days, and then a general quality of life score that looked at various domains of quality of life, physical, mental, sexual, things like that. And when you look at sort of the frequency of those outcomes, it appeared participants were not having a lot of condomless sex. For folks who were taking PrEP at 25%, adherence was quite high, which is great. And quality of life was kind of middle of the road. So some of the main findings that I think are going to be interesting and relevant to you all here. This idea that older sexual minority men that participated are actually pretty burdened by traditional and age-related syndemic conditions. So when we look at the top box, those are the traditional syndemic conditions, the ones that we know kind of affect people across the lifespan when we think about HIV risk outcomes. And it looked like, just shy of a third of our sample met criteria for our depression indicator. Just shy of half of folks identified that they had a history of intimate partner violence, and over 50%, 50% or so, experienced some form of intersectional stigma, and that was related to multiple identifiers that they might hold. So as middle-aged or older sexual minority men, there's two minoritized identities there. You have age as an older adult, and then also as a sexual minority. So people were reporting that they were experiencing a lot of stigma and discrimination because of their identities. When we looked at the aging-related factors in particular, there was a high number of folks that reported that they experienced at least some discrimination based off their age on a day-to-day basis. 51%, so just over half, reported that they had a high enough level of internalized ageism on the scale that we use. Social isolation was fairly high, 56% of folks met our criteria of social isolation or loneliness. And some of the other factors there was some aging anxiety, a little over a third had perceived cognitive impairment, and economic marginalization, about 43%, had at least one of those components. So housing instability in the past 12 months, were worried about their finances, their ability to pay their rent or their mortgage, or had some food insecurity. This is sort of just a graphical explanation of that, showing how there were some folks who reported none of those conditions, and then there were quite a few folks that still reported 6 or 7 of those conditions. So we're experiencing a lot of those syndemic factors. So thinking more about the results, there were these 3 buckets we looked at. We looked at condomless sex, we looked at PrEP adherence for people who were on PrEP, and then we looked at quality of life. The big punchline for the sexual health outcomes was that we didn't really find much of an association between these factors and the sexual health outcomes. And the main reason for that is really related to what we call, in research terms, there wasn't a lot of variability in our outcomes. Because so few people were having condomless sex, it was hard for us to determine if there was a relationship between these factors and condomless sex, because we didn't have a big enough wide range of responses for condomless sex. Same thing for PrEP adherence. It was hard for us to determine if there really was an impact of these aging-related factors or these traditional syndemic conditions on PrEP adherence, because for folks who were taking PrEP, they were doing it really well. They were taking it almost daily, so we couldn't really see a lot of movement in the adherence outcome. With quality of life, though, remember I talked about we used some artificial intelligence machine learning approaches to see if there were certain factors that might really relate to HIV risk. There were a few that popped up as maybe being relevant. So for condomless sex, it looked like perceived cognitive impairment and social isolation may have been connected. So if folks perceived that they had some more cognitive impairment or they felt more lonely, that had potentially a higher likelihood of engaging in condomless sex. And then for PrEP adherence, if you had higher aging anxiety and you did not experience everyday age-related discrimination, those seem to connect to having higher PrEP adherence. So if you were more anxious about getting older, but you didn't experience a lot of discrimination on the daily because of your age, you were more likely to adhere to your PrEP. Thinking about the quality of life outcome, that's where we saw a lot of our bang for our buck. There was an association, a significant association between the traditional syndemic conditions and quality of life, as well as the aging-related syndemic conditions and quality of life. So that if you experience more of those negative traditional conditions that affect everybody across the life course, you are more likely to report a lower quality of life. Same thing for the aging-related conditions. The more aging-related negative conditions you reported, the more likely you were going to say you weren't as happy with your current life state or your quality of life. And the 4 factors that specifically popped out as being really connected to quality of life were sexual minority-specific aging concerns, social isolation, aging anxiety, and internalized ageism. So the more of those you had, the more likely you were going to report that your quality of life was lower. So I want to just end with some thoughts about where we go from here. The most important thing is that this is something we need to continue to put money and energy and resources to, because, as I mentioned at the start, the HIV epidemic is changing. It doesn't look the same as it was in the 80s and 90s. And the big group of folks that are still burdened by a lot of the epidemic are middle-aged and older adults. And so we need to better understand how to support that group. We also need to think more broadly about the interventions that we as researchers and clinicians can develop and then bring to communities to support them. whether they're living with HIV or HIV negative and still maybe have an increased likelihood of acquiring HIV. And then I think the last few are important, thinking again outside of the box and innovatively about how we can bring health education interventions and talking about sex in a way that is open and inclusive across the lifespan. There's a lot of mental health professionals, providers, medical doctors who aren't comfortable talking about sex, particularly for middle-aged and older folks. And we need to change that culture because sexual health matters for everybody. You know, we were talking about that earlier today from the wellness group, right? That, you know, having a sense of confidence in yourself and your body and an understanding of your health needs makes sex better, makes your quality of life better. And if your providers aren't able to talk to you about that because they feel uncomfortable, that's a narrative and a culture we need to change. So a big thank you to everyone who participated in this first iteration of the study. We're still collecting data, so if you are interested in participating in the next round, we're going to continue to adapt the results based off new people that participate. Please come up to the table. Hannah and I are happy to help with that and answer any questions. And a huge thank you to the Pride Center for letting me come so many times and work with you all. It's been great. Thank you.
So Elliot and Hannah will be here for questions a little bit later. Be sure, if you're interested in the bus trip to Nova, you sign up with Shawn. And what kind of numbers do we have?
Don't run away, Elliot. I need you to pick a number here. Okay. Alright, so the total is 317. Alright, where are my mathematicians? What do you get? What do you get? Oh, come on. I have it in front of me so I can tell you. Oh, you're close. Oh, you're both close. We got 159. Because of course, you know, we give you the extra dollar. Thank you, Elliot. Alright, so we're ready? So 159 is your prize. 1065. 4187. 4187. 4187. Don, you didn't win? No. Alright, there we go. Alright, way to go. Alright, remember, please turn your phone back on, and if you have any garbage in front of you, please take it with you and deposit it in one. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Be safe, and we'll see you next Tuesday.